Hello and welcome to 90.5 WASU YouTube channel. My name is Great Dane Maggard here, your commentator for today, your one and only commentator for today. When there's App State wrestling duels, it's a great day, it's a good day. And today's weight class, we are starting at 149 pounds. And of course, 149 for App State is the boy Caden Keyser, the number 26 ranked wrestler in the world, in the country right now. And then after that is Jeremiah Price or Kai Odell. And Kai Odell has been the recent starter recently. And next up, 165, Anthony Canetta. 174, true freshman Colt Campbell. Fun fact, Colt Campbell actually follows me on Instagram. Great guy. And then next up, Tomas Brooker. Number 23 ranked wrestler in the country right now on Intermat, and number 25 on Intermat, and number 23 on Flow Wrestling. And 197 pounds, Logan Eller, the redshirt sophomore from Georgia. Logan Eller has been the void at 197 that Carson Floyd left last year. And now Logan Eller has been that guy. He is the guy at 197 pounds right now. He is absolutely the guy. And, of course, at heavyweight, the true sophomore from Middletown, New York, Stephen Moan Cherie, the absolute dog that he is, man. If you've never seen Stephen Moan Cherie wrestle, you are truly missing out, because man is an absolute dog, and he can wrestle anybody at any weight class. And then we go back up to the lighter weight class, in my opinion, the most exciting weight classes. 125, Cooper Foster, the true freshman. 133, Jarvis Little. And then 141, Aldo Hernandez. And Jarvis Little was ranked a couple weeks ago after a top 25 win, but ever since the Southern Scuffle, he has been unranked. But Aldo Hernandez is actually the SoCon Wrestler of the Week. So he is looking to defend that title and hopefully become it again. And now for VMI, and for those who don't know, VMI stands for Virginia Military Institute. So these guys go through some hard training, man, and they got a lot of fans here tonight. I see a good wave of red in the opposing stands away. And at 125, they have Waylon Rogers. And at 133, it's either going to be Cody Tanner or Adam Bilby. And at 141, they have Dyson Dunham. Dyson Dunham is the most prestigious person on the VMI roster, as he's a former NCAA qualifier. And Aldo Hernandez will truly have a exciting match to watch as he overcomes that. And then 149, Patrick Jordan. 157, Ray Simmel or Eric Doran. And 165, Ryan Vigil or Tyler Barish. 174, Bo Lewis. Andrew Barford at 184, and at 197, Toby Shuffstall, and heavyweight Cole Will. But right now, we will be doing the national anthem, so stay tuned, and I'll be back. And welcome back. It is after the anthem. And John Marks Bentley, the coach for App State, his daughter, actually sung the anthem today. And I'm not going to lie, it was pretty good. It was a pretty good anthem. I've heard a lot worse, a.k.a. Fergie. But, but Fergie's national anthem is bad. But John Mark Bentley's daughter, even better. That was great by a child. But now we start at 149, like I said before. And at 149, we have the one of two ranked wrestlers here. Caden Keyser, the one of two ranked wrestlers here for App State. Caden Keyser, number 26 on Flow, number 33 on Intermat. And upcoming, because they didn't shake hands before, Kai Odell. And Kai Odell is the certified starter for tonight. Kai Odell has been a veteran with the team quite some time now. And his first career duel start was against Presbyterian. And guess what? He won. And John Mark Bentley's looking towards that same type of success after Jeremiah Price has had more losses than usual. But every wrestler has a down a couple weeks and a downside. But at 149, coming back to that, Caden Keyser from Winter, South Dakota. Winter, South Dakota. You don't make stuff like this up. And he's coming to Russell Patrick Jordan from Providence Forge, Virginia. And it's going to be an exciting match. Any Caden Keyser match is going to absolutely be exciting. And once again, thank you so much for tuning in to 90.5 WASU YouTube presents App State Wrestling. VMI versus App State. The Virginia Military Institute comes to Boone in the high country, and it'll start any second now. Patrick Jordan has his tape on, just waiting around. And Caden Keyser will be going out anytime as the PA announcer gets things going. And Caden Keyser has been ranked, then unranked, ranked, then unranked, ranked, then unranked. He's been very, very weird. I think he deserves to be ranked, but he's looking towards his name to be higher up on the Intermat list. He's 26 on Flow Wrestling and 33 on Intermat. 33 is the absolute last number on Intermat, and most people respect Intermat than Flow Wrestling, but at least rankings-wise. And the match is started. Both men start in the middle, go in the tie-ups, feeling each other out, waiting, pushing each other's weight back and forth. Keyser goes for a little bit of a feint, but Jordan tries to go for that underhook. Both men still in the tie-up. Keyser tries to separate, tries to circle around, but tries to grab wrist control and circles to the right. Goes for a little bit of a feint, but goes back to that tie-in. Keyser, another fake, trying to get a reaction out of Patrick. Patrick trying to go for that inside tie, and he has it. Keyser almost had a high crotch there, but went out last second to go back into the tie-up. Both men, Keyser had an inside tie, and he goes for that inside single, trying to finish it. Keyser trying to circle around. Keyser has the ankle, trying to circle to his left, doesn't work. Circles to his right, doesn't work. He says, screw it, I'm going out the back gates. Goes in between Patrick Jordan's legs. And Patrick Jordan went almost on his back, trying to get some back time. Keyser almost there. Patrick Jordan has that wrestler's grip. And Keyser trying to cross-face his way. Patrick just keeping that leg in there so Keyser does not get the takedown just yet. Keyser trying to cross-face his life, but Jordan holding onto that leg for dear life. Keyser has that leg circling around, trying to finish with all his heart. Keyser has both legs controlled, but Jordan is staying tight on that grip, and he finally lets go. but no points just yet, as Jordan almost got a reversal. And both men are neutral, no points just yet. Keyser was so close, but Jordan had good takedown defense to keep it still 0-0 in the first, less than a minute remaining. Referee calls stall and goes back to the middle. Patrick Jordan with some extravagant takedown defense to keep Keyser from finishing there. Start back in the middle with 45 seconds remaining in this first period. Just pushing back in fourth, trying to get the tie in. Jordan goes for his own little shot fake. .30 seconds left in this first period, still 0-0. Keyser trying to get he goes for the double leg, but Jordan stuffs it and it goes back to neutral. Keyser goes for a far side single. The control of both legs. Keyser again trying to go back out the back gates, but Jordan just doing what he did last time. 5 seconds remaining. Short time, Keyser desperately trying to finish. And it is 0-0 at the first. Patrick Jordan's takedown defense has been great so far. And John Mark Bentley trying to coach Caden Keyser on hopeful strategies to finish the takedowns, because Keyser is knee deep in those takedowns, but he just can't finish it right here. And the second period will start, and we have a caution on Keyser, as Keyser will start on top and Patrick Jordan will start on bottom to start the second period. Keyser starts on time this time. Trying to get the 2-on-1, but Jordan just in his pyramid stance. Keyser trying to get a mat return. Jordan is almost out. Jordan's very close, but Keyser's looking for that mat return, and he does. He gets him back down to the mat and trying to get some points. And Jordan goes back up, and they will rush out of bounds as Jordan was close to escaping, and Keyser was holding on to that lock, pushing Jordan out of bounds. So Jordan has to get back on bottom in the middle and start back up again. 1 minute and 31 seconds remaining in this second period. Keyser starts trying to spread Jordan out, trying to be given a wrist, anything, trying to look for any type of opening. Jordan escapes, and John Mark Bentley is not happy, shaking his head. He hates it when wrestlers just let their opponents up and get a free point, because 1 point can make a difference when the third period starts coming around, and when there's less than a minute remaining in crunch time, you need that extra point. But it is 0-1. Patrick Jordan is leading Caden Keyser. 1 minute remaining in this second period. Jordan goes for his own shot attempt, but Keyser stuffs it. Keyser trying to get wrist control. Less than a minute remaining. Keyser going for the inside tie. Jordan has the outside left tie. Keyser tries to circle around while Jordan sprawled. Keyser has a leg. Jordan trying to go for the same thing. Keyser goes for a shot attempt, rolls Keyser around. Keyser trying to go for that fireman's carry, but goes out the back gates again. And Jordan just holding on for dear life. That man is trying anything to not have a takedown on him. 20 seconds left. Keyser with quick time remaining. Keyser trying to circle back around. Both men have each other's legs. It's a weird predicament, and Jordan's on his back, and Keyser finally gets that takedown he was looking for. And it is now 3-1. 5 seconds remaining. Jordan trying to get up with some last second points and trying his hardest, and he says nope, and no takedown and no escape point will be given, and wow, and they're challenging. And VMI is arguing heavy that Jordan was up and should have had an escape point there, and the ref will look it over, and that gives Jordan some time to breathe as that man looks tired. Takedown defense is harder than it looks, folks, or at least you guys, harder than it sounds. Keyser just trying to regain some focus. All three coaches are up. And those coaches being John Mark Bentley, Randall Diaby, and Paul Bianchi, all up there. Oh, and now Hunter Schott. And now Hunter Schott is up there too. 4 coaches are here right here, and it looks like things will be overturned as VMI is happy. And an escape point will be given to Patrick Jordan, so it is now 3-2. Start of the third period is on its way. Caden Keyser is making this match a lot closer than it needs to be. Caden Keyser is up by 1, but thankfully he is on bottom getting that escape point. Keyser trying to stand up. Bridge is up, trying to get that grip loose. It goes for that tubing, trying to get some back points, and it only goes 1. He only waits hand 1. Keyser almost on his back for a couple seconds there. And Keyser still on the ground, trying to break grip. But Jordan is keeping him down. But Jordan, if he wants to get any points here, he's going to have to do a tilt or even just let Keyser up and try to take him down for that extra 3. But doesn't look like that's what his strategy is. He looks like he's trying to get Keyser to get off balance in any way. Going for any tilt. Oh, he has 1 leg in. Yep, he's trying to get that inside tilt in. He puts his left leg in. And I'm sorry, a little bit of confused for a second. I don't know if he called stalling there. But it is a close match. Keyser still up by 1, 3-2. 59.3 seconds remaining in this match. And they're giving Keyser an escape point to start out on neutral. And Keyser confident in his takedown defense. 4-2. Patrick Jordan needs a takedown to be up. And Keyser just needs to hold on here, but Keyser cannot be too hasty, but Keyser is a patient guy, but also needs to hold out on that stalling. 35 seconds remaining in this match, 4-2. Keyser leads by 2. Keyser trying to hold on to his lead. Some shot attempts coming from Patrick Jordan. Jordan goes for many shot attempts, but Keyser defending most of them. Keyser goes for his own shot attempt. And Keyser has a single leg. He's trying to circle around, but Jordan has that tight wrestler's grip. Keyser has his legs in between. And Keyser's trying to circle around, but his head is in between Patrick Jordan. And Caden Keyser wins the match in, to say the least, in odd fashion. Caden Keyser wins 4-2 against Patrick Jordan. And Patrick Jordan for VMI, trying to find his record right here. He is 9-9. And if Keyser wants to stay ranked, he's going to have to do some working, because I assume the Citadel and Virginia Tech is looking at this match trying to figure out some weaknesses. And at 157, we have Jeremiah Price wrestling Ray Samil. And Jeremiah Price has had a weird start to the season, as the end of last year, he had a lot of success and was kind of that without a doubt starter at 157 for App State, but this year might be a little different going forward, depending on this match. Jeremiah Price going out very aggressive. He's always an aggressive type of guy, the type of wrestler to butt heads with you for fun. Goes for that inside tie-up. Separates, goes back into it again, trying to get wrist control, getting that chicken wing. Price tried to go for a little shoe by to try to use Samil's weight against him. It is still 0-0. 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining. Jeremiah Price has the single in, trying to finish. And he does. That's 3 in the town of Boone. 3 for Jeremiah Price. It is now 3-0 with 2 minutes remaining. Jeremiah Price trying to keep Samil down. Samil trying to get up. Jeremiah Price trying to work, trying to spread out Samil. Price keeping his foot in. And they'll start back in the middle. And the VMI coaches are telling Samil a basic thing in wrestling to keep your elbows and your biceps short and very close to your body, so your opposing wrestler doesn't have an easy way to get inside and try to get wrist control anyway. Price trying to break Samil down with that arm, popping it down, not letting Samil even having an arm on the bridge, trying to get his head in his armpit. Price has got to control the ankle. Price trying to get a mat return down, and he does. Samil was very close to getting an escape point, and Price does what John Mark Bentley likes best, is to keep the wrestler down and dominate. Price has both legs in, has a grapevine in. Price has a grapevine in, trying to get any wrist control, but Samil's just on bottom. He's trying to get out, but he can't. Referee trying to go to Samil. Very close. Might warn him about stalling soon. Try to work something, but in this situation, you can't really work. And 30 seconds left in this first period. Samil is just laying down like a piece of butter on a piece of plate. And they're stalling on Samil, a stalling warning. And after one warning, you get 1 point, then 2 points, then you're disqualified in the sport of wrestling. 15 seconds left, that's short time. Price grabbing the ankle, trying to work Samil to a tilt. Samil is trying to work anything, and there's another stalling call, and that's 1 point given to Price. 3, 2, 1, and that is the end of the first period. And 2 stalling calls. It goes to App State for the decision first, and they defer to VMI, and they choose bottom. In some cases like this, some wrestling coaches will, after your wrestler is down a lot of the time, they'll choose to go neutral in the second period, which most coaches will do, but VMI is confident in their guy that he can get up, and that's exactly what he does. He tried to get up. Price trying to get a mat return. He tried, and he gets away, but he gets that escape point, but Price trying to stay at least in contact. And Price goes for an outside single. Outside ankle pick, trying to get that leg, trying to finish it. Oh, ooh, that's painful. Samil trying to spin around while Jeremiah Price had both of his legs. That looks like a very painful position. And that's 3 for Jeremiah Price, 7-1, 1 minute and 20 remaining in this second period. Price lets him up. And John Mark Bentley isn't waving his hand, isn't shaking his head. In situations like this where it might be okay, where you're confident you can take the guy down, let him up, let him get that escape point. Who cares? That's 1. That's 1 point. You're about to get 3 to take him down again. Price trying to get him. Goes for an outside single again, but Samil, after seeing it twice, finally lets it go. Price goes for that snap down, the inside tie snap down, and he goes around for another 3, 10-2. 40 seconds remaining in this second period. Price has both legs in. And if you're a wrestler and you've ever been in a position where both of your opposing wrestler has both legs in, that is a position you do not want to be in. Price working on top, going for a cross face, trying anything, possibly trying to get some more stalling out of Samil. But Samil is kind of laying there. A referee just kind of, and he's warning. Another stalling call, and that's another point for Keyser, 11-2. 3 points have been because of stalling. 11-2, and Price has 3 minutes of riding time. And Price immediately going to the referee saying, I want bottom. I can escape this guy. And it looks like it. Jeremiah Price is absolutely dominating this match. 11-2, 3 minutes of riding time coming from Jeremiah Price. Price trying to get that tech. I can see it in his eyes. He's determined. After not starting in the last duel versus Presbyterian, he has something to prove at 157 pounds. Price gets up and he escapes. Immediately goes into the tie-up. Doesn't even separate for a second. Price trying to shoo away. Gets that. Oh no. Oh no. And Jeremiah Price gets taken down. Try to go for a shoe by, which I like to call it, where you grab the wrestler and try to use the momentum against him. But and Keyser gets out, makes it 13-5. And we see a little bit of an emotional, at least an emotional win for Samil, getting some points against Jeremiah Price that weren't from an escape that Price basically just gave him. But a minute 10 remaining in this match. Price trying to get that takedown. Has wrist control. Goes for the outside single with the wrist control. Referee saying no points given. And Samil just lets go of Keyser's arm. Gets the takedown. Keyser lets him up. 45 seconds remaining in this match. 16-6. And John Mark Bentley going to Jeremiah Price like, we need 2 more, Jerry. We need 2 more. In 30 seconds remaining, Price is desperately trying to get those 2 more takedowns. But to get a tech right now, he needs to take him down and get some back points. Price trying to do the cow tipper for the takedown. And it doesn't. And VMI's Ryan Samil actually rolls through it and gets a 3 of his own. That's very surprising. And with short time, 5 seconds left, pretty safe to say that Jeremiah Price is winning this match, and he does. Jeremiah Price will win 16-9. What a way to start, but also what a way to finish. And the first time that was good. And the second time I said, what a way to finish, that's bad if you don't know common sense clues. But Ryan Samil getting almost 2 takedowns in crunch time minutes is, if you're John Mark Bentley, a little disappointing. And now the next match being at 165 pounds. And John Mark Bentley actually talking to Price before he goes back to the locker room, giving us some advice. And now, Anthony Canetta, and wow, there's a lot of girls rooting for his name. If that doesn't tell you that this guy is a player on and off the mat, I'll tell you now. And Anthony Canetta, the redshirt junior from Massapequa, New York, wrestling Ryan Virgil. The team score right now is 7-0. Canetta starting out strong, going in aggressive, trying to get that underhook immediately, but Virgil not giving him a second off, matching his intensity. Canetta having that outside tie-in. Virgil tries to snap down Canetta, doesn't work, goes back to neutral, goes back to the tie-in. Canetta circles around for a different position. He's now on the aggressor, keeping Virgil on the outside of the mat. Canetta has that underhook. Canetta has the underhook on his right arm and has the whizzer of his left. Trying to circle around and finish. And stall warning on Virgil of VMI. Canetta trying to circle around, but also trying to stay in bounds in a way, because Virgil knows that if Canetta's going to circle around, that Kaneda will go out of bounds and the takedown doesn't count. And they have to start back neutral. We'll be in a better position. Kaneda trying to keep his foot in and takes down. And it'll go to neutral, but already a stall call for Ryan Vigil. Vigil has the inside tie. Kaneda trying to break it. Kaneda snapping down. Staying neutral, but Kaneda tries to go for an outside single, but Ryan Vigil just stuffs him. Vigil goes for his own little, like, almost a offensive tackle rush. And the referee will stop and go to neutral. Don't know what that stoppage was about, to be honest, but seems everyone likes it. 1 minute and 5 seconds remaining. Kaneda trying to have that inside hook, an inside tie-up. Kaneda's trying to circle around. Vigil keeping that arm from keeping him going around, and that's 3 for Anthony Kaneda here in Varsity Gym. Kaneda working on top. Trying to flatten down Ryan Vigil. 3-0, 40 seconds remaining. Kaneda has the bird wing. Ref trying to see or monitor closely for a potentially dangerous or a potential another stall warning on Vigil. And Kaneda has the elbow and pulling it back of Ryan Vigil's left arm. And we see a lot of people on the App State bench going, where's the stall call? Even the fans are staying in now. But Vigil just staying there. And no stall call will be called, as VMI has the first decision, and they defer to App State. And they choose bottom. Anthony Kaneda will choose bottom. And Anthony Kaneda starting up. And it's a caution on Kaneda. One thing about App State wrestlers is that they are aggressive. Aggressive. And immediately as the whistle starts, Kaneda goes for a Granby roll, turns back around, tries to break the grip. The Granby roll almost had it. And Kaneda comes out and immediately goes back to a blast double. And they go out of bounds and start back in the middle of 1:49 remaining. Kaneda tries to go for that underhook on his right arm. And Kaneda trying to get out of that tie-up, but Ryan Vigil goes for a takedown attempt. Has the leg of Kaneda, but Kaneda trying to circle around. Kaneda circling around, and he does. Gets the 3. Ryan Vigil goes for a takedown. Kaneda has that takedown defense. Oh, wow. A potentially dangerous, and John Mark Bentley is mad. Oh, and there's an injury time. But do not, for people who don't watch wrestling, they might think that's a dirty move, but it's not. It is a move that's quite done a lot in the NCAA world. It's basically what Kaneda was trying to do is that he has the left arm of Vigil, and while having the wrist control the other arm and circling one way, where Kaneda has both control of both arms, but it goes in a weird way. And it is a weird position, because if you have an odd shoulder, which Vigil might have, but we don't know. And it looks like the Vigil is down. And the coaching staff of App State surprised that was a potentially dangerous call, but probably after seeing Ryan Vigil on the ground just flattened out. He hasn't even got up to his knees at all. His He's completely planked down. He's now going to his back, and the medical staff just telling him to breathe. The score is 7-0. The time has stopped, obviously. 1 minute and 11 seconds remaining. And he is still down. And we are going to go to a little bit of a break to get this situated. And we will be back to resume Anthony Canetta versus Ryan Vigil. Vigil is finally getting up to his butt and now to his knees, walking off. And it looks like this match will be finished. And this match will be done after the shoulder of Ryan Vigil. Both men shake hands quickly, and Canetta will get the win. 7-0. Anthony Canetta win. And now the team score is now 13-0. And you could hear a pin drop here in Varsity Gym. And now at 174. And now the true freshman that Colt Campbell is, and the dog that Colt Campbell is, from Midland, North Carolina. And if you ever heard a rustling name, it's Colt Campbell. Colt Campbell the Rustler. That is the perfect rustling name. And Colt Campbell, 174, facing off against Bo Lewis. Starting off aggressive. And they stop as a leg strap of Bo Lewis is off. And they'll restart the match inside 2 minutes and 50 seconds in this first period. Campbell. Bentley trying to get that left hand inside. Campbell trying to look at his options. Trying to defend the inside tie. Has his own inside tie of his own. Trying to separate. And Lewis goes for an outside single attempt as Colt defends it and circles around. It goes back to neutral. Campbell now has the inside tie, just switching arm to arm, switching ties. And Campbell, Colt Campbell of App State, facing off against Bo Lewis of the Virginia Military Institute. The team score for App State is 13-0 in this duel. To recap some things, we started off with Caden Keyser, where he got a win 4-2 against Patrick Jordan. And Jeremiah Price beat Ray Samil in a dominant fashion. And Anthony Canetta versus Ryan Vigil ended in a potentially dangerous to injury as Anthony Canetta won 7-0. So App State has won every match so far. And Colt Campbell is now rustling Bo Lewis to try to get that start off for him. Trying to get that inside tie. Not much has happened since then. 1:30 remaining in this first period. Campbell trying to defend the 2-on-1 that Bo Lewis has. 2-on-1 arm. Lewis tries to shoo Campbell by, and Campbell stays in front with good defense. Campbell trying to defend the inside tie. Campbell has the inside single attempt. Trying to circle around with that ankle. Trying to make sure he has that ankle, putting it in between his legs and circling around, actually putting it on his hip towards the tilt. Trying to look for back points, and what an oil check by Bo Lewis. That is a move that is frowned upon in wrestling, but you got to do what you got to do. And he gets it so close, and he gets that 3. Bentley kind of just clapped his hands and kept moving, as he kind of expected that to happen a lot sooner. But a takedown to takedown nonetheless. 20 seconds remaining in this first period. And as a escape point for Bo Lewis. 3-1 short time. 5, 4, 3. as both men just stay in the middle, not working anything else, just waiting for the time to expire, and that's exactly what happens. Colt Campbell leads 3-1. App State gets the decision, but defer to VMI, and VMI, what will they choose? They choose bottom. And Bo Lewis will start on bottom, and Colt Campbell will be on top. Campbell doesn't get a caution this time. The only App State wrestler, I believe, to not get a caution so far. Now, might have the wrestler's curse, but Colt leading 3-1, a minute 45 in this second period remaining. Campbell trying to get a leg in, trying to work, trying to flatten out Bo Lewis. And Bo is very close to escaping. Campbell goes down to the leg to try to keep him down, and that's exactly what he does. Bo tries to roll, tries to escape, and they go out of bounds. So Bo almost getting that escape point, and Campbell doing a great job at keeping his man down for no easy points here in Varsity Gym. Campbell starts the match, or starts off from top, trying to flatten out his opponent, putting pressure on Bo Lewis's back left leg. Lewis did a little Granby roll, and now he has Campbell's right leg. Almost has a reverse fireman's carry. Campbell goes up. Almost has a reversal. Has Campbell's leg, trying to go for that trip, and he lets it go, but just gets the escape point. But VMI's coach kind of upset that he let that go and let that out of his way. 40 seconds remaining in this second period. Colt Campbell leads 3-2. Colt Campbell with App State, the true freshman, starting at 174. Last year was Luke Giuliano, the NCAA qualifier. He will be missed, but another 174 has been found here at App State, winning 3-2 so far. About 15 seconds left in the second period. Campbell pushing back in fourth. Referee going to the middle, telling both men to work. But both men are head-to-head, trying to work each other's tie, trying to find some type of weight imbalance, faking each other. And it will start as the second period ends in the third period. Very short to starting. Colt Campbell will choose bottom in the last period as VMI had the last decision in the second period. And Campbell trying to get up, get those escape points. But Bo Lewis, being an extremely physical wrestler, if there's one advantage that I kind of see right now is that Bo Lewis does have the strength advantage, but Colt is a more technical wrestler in working angles and getting specific things. And as I say that, he gets the escape and gets the reverse. It is now 5-2. A minute and 20 remaining in this match. Campbell has a minute of riding time. Bo sits out, trying to find which way to turn. He's sitting on his butt. He's sitting out. And Colt, as Bo turns back to face Colt to try to escape, Colt is trying. And we get 1 point. And we get 1 point to Bo Lewis after Campbell had an illegal grip. And that will be an easy point for Bo Lewis, his easiest point all match. Campbell leads 5-3, and he really does not need Bo to have the possibility of escaping and getting a takedown on him. So Campbell's going to have to really work. And he has the tie-in again, and Bentley is pissed. And trying to cut him loose, and that's exactly what he does, neutral, as Campbell is trying to defend a takedown. 15 seconds remaining. Campbell needs to defend. He's 1 point away from winning this match. Very tight. Bo Lewis trying his hardest to get this takedown. 3, 2, 1. And that's a crunch time win for Colt Campbell. 5-4. The true freshman gets it done in varsity gym, but he's going to have a weird talk with John Mark Bentley for sure. Colt Campbell gets the win as a true freshman. And that'll be another win on the books for App State today. John Mark Bentley even walking with Colt back to the App State wrestling room. As the true freshman has a lot to learn, but he is a talented individual to say the least. And Colt Campbell, if he stays here, will have a bright future at App State Wrestling. And now, next up, will be 184, the very own Tomas Brooker, number 23 in the world, ranked in flow, and number 25 on Intermat. He will be wrestling Andrew Barford, the true freshman from Heath, Ohio. And Tomas has an extreme height advantage, almost seems like every single one of his opponents. And if you're a wrestler and you see the guy in front of you has longer legs than you, you need to wrestle with a distance because exactly this will happen. Tomas Brooker goes for an outside single, goes to the double, gets the easy points for 3. Tomas trying to get this over fast and easy. Tries to get almost a spladle, kind of, but he doesn't get the leg in. He's trying to get Barford to just go flat. And goes for a mat return, and that's exactly what happens. Slams him back down right in the middle of the A. Brooker trying to go for some wrist control. Barford trying to get up. Trying not to have a stalling warning like his recent teammates. And Brooker trying to work anything, but might have just cursed Barford as he might get looked at for stalling soon, as he's kind of just sitting there just waiting to see what Tomas is doing. Tomas working side to side, trying to work. 1:40 remaining in this period. Tomas trying to mat return down. Has the wrist of Barford. Tomas tries to go for a cross cradle almost. Actually, he switches. I'm surprised the ref hasn't gone to Barford at all, trying to give him a little bit of a warning. Goes back down. That's exactly what he does, trying to speak to Barford. But also trying to look for that grip. 1 minute remaining in this first period. And Brooker just lets him up after Barford isn't really working anything on bottom and just kind of just sitting there. And Brooker has the inside tie, trying to work the weight of Barford. Goes for the outside single. Barford has that whizzer, the only thing keeping from this 3 happening. Lets the whizzer go, and Tomas circles around and gets that 3. Now 6-1, Tomas has 2 minutes of riding time already. "15 seconds remaining, now 10. 6-1, Tomas Brooker leading 6-1, and that'll be the end of the first period. And Tomas has 2 minutes and 25 seconds of riding time. And the first period is 3 minutes by himself. There was only a 35-second period where Tomas wasn't on top of him. And Tomas will start as App State will have the position after the decision, after the defer from VMI, and Tomas will be on bottom. Tomas trying to escape. Barford tries to pick up Tomas Brooker, and that's something that not a lot of Tomas's opponents have been able to do. Barford tries to go for a single of his own. And Tomas trying to defend that takedown, stuffing the head and circling the opposite way. Fundamentals of wrestling. But Barford just holding on to that leg for dear life with his head in the sand. Finally pokes his head out as Tomas cross-facing and trying to circle backwards for those points. Tomas still trying to cross-face and go around. Tomas is basically behind him. It's just that grip, just that leg that's keeping him. But Tomas with a mean cross-face and with a smart decision by Barford to let that leg go after being borderline punched. But cross-facing is a rough tactic, but a legal tactic. Tomas on top. Tomas lets him up. 30 seconds remaining, 10-2 in the second period. Tomas goes for the outside single, goes for a cross single, then resorts to the outside. Tomas has that three, 13-2. 5 seconds remaining in this second period. Tomas is waiting the end of the period out, has wrist control. And VMI will have the decision, and they choose bottom. And Tomas has 3 minutes borderline of riding time. And VMI will have 2 points to Tomas's 13. Tomas, they start up neutral. Oh no, they start neutral as App and Tomas want Barford to start neutral and just give him the escape point. Tomas has that takedown, 16-3. 3 minutes of riding time still. Tomas letting Barford up, but Barford going straight back at Brooker trying to get. Brooker tries to go for an outside single. Tomas close to stuffing it, and he does. Tomas gets a double of his own. If you can't get the single, he gets the double. And Tomas will get the tech fall. Tomas Brooker gets the win, 19-4 win over Andrew Barford. And Tomas getting another dominant win in fashion. Tomas will go back like nothing ever happened, back to the wrestling room. And that will be the split timeout. But we have our very own App Weekly Newses and the Appalachians' very own Trey Blake. Trey Dog Blake. He was on the last wrestling broadcast with me for App versus NC State. That was an absolute thriller of a duel. And Trey, that match for Jeremiah Price was a defining moment of his starting place on the roster. And they actually did announce Kai Odell in the beginning, but nope, they switched up and gave it to Jeremiah Price. And with Jeremiah Price having a very impressive start, what do you think of his end?
Thanks for bringing me on, Dan. I wasn't expecting it. I'm kind of just throw on the spot, but I appreciate it, man. I thought Jerry did really good. We were talking about this earlier. I think Jerry's very talented, but I questioned his spot in the starting lineup just because of how good of the last couple of weeks Kai has had. I think he's like 8-2 in his last 10. Speaking on Jeremiah, though, he had a really good first period and a half. I thought he was strictly dominant. And then he kind of led up towards the end of that second period, and you could see Bentley. I think I heard you say it. Bentley was not pleased. He was not happy at all. You could kind of hear him giving him an earful. But I think it is a very defining win. You know, you get a win in SoCon play. He didn't. This is his first SoCon win of the year. He didn't wrestle against Presbyterian. last week or 2 weeks ago. I think it moves him in the right direction because he had such a good end to last year, and we kind of saw in a similar way. I think it was Presbyterian around this time last year. He got a really big bonus point win, and it really catapulted his end of the year. And we're hoping that he can just do the same thing this year.
And let's go back to Caden Keyser. He was the first match of the night. He gets back in those intermat rankings at 33, still ranked in the top 25 or top 26 on flow, as he is the 26 on flow. And if you're intermat and saw this match, would you unrank Caden Keyser?
Dan, I can't lie. I think I would. I was not impressed with Caden tonight. I know he missed all of December at least, and I think he missed a scuffle too. I think he wrestled at Cliff Keen. He got a top 12 there, which was super impressive. You go top 12 at an event where 9 of the top 10 teams are there. That's super impressive. That's some stuff we saw with Will Miller, and we saw a little bit with Cody Baum, but we really haven't seen since John. Ooh, sorry, Dan. I hit the cord. I apologize, but I haven't been impressed. He had a really impressive win last week. I wasn't able to watch it because Flow. Got to pay for it. I ain't paying for it. But I was not impressed with him tonight. If we take it back to NC State, I think he did not get the result there, but he was still impressive. And he took that to Cliff Keen, and he did a really good job. Gets hurt, sick, whatever it was. I think he's just getting over it. It's a little rust. He's coming back from the rust. I remember I spoke to Sean Carter in around October, and he said Caden can be the best wrestler that's ever walked through these doors. He's just got to kind of come out faster. He's got to believe in himself more. And an injury right after you probably have the biggest result of your career can be kind of hindering. So I don't know. I like Caden. I think he's very much worthy of the top 26 ranking on Flow, way more than he is deserving of that 33 ranking. But if I'm Intermat, I would think about unranking him.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, as we will go to a break for some more action, as Logan Eller starts back off of the break against either Tommy Schofstel or Christian Leonard. Then Stefan Moncherie, the guy that we love, the big huggable bear that can kill a bear. But Stefan Moncherie will wrestle Cole Will, the true freshman. Then we'll go back to the lightweights. We'll go to Cooper Foster to wrestling Waylon Rogers. Then it goes to 133, Jarvis Little versus either Cody Tanner or Adam Bilby. And honestly, the most anticipated match of the night, in my opinion, is the last one, 141. It'll either be Aldo Hernandez or Joe Fungaro. But to my knowledge and what I have heard around the crowd, that it will be the regular starters, and of which will be Aldo Hernandez. And Aldo Hernandez, the SoCon Wrestler of the Week last week. And we'll be wrestling former NCAA qualifier Dyson Dunham, the senior for the Virginia Military Institute. And Dylan Dunham, being an NCAA qualifier, will be a tough match for Aldo, as Aldo tries to up his difficulty in skill set every year. As we will go to a break, but not for long, less than 5 minutes. We have more wrestling action coming your way here on 90.5 WASU YouTube. Welcome back. It's me, Great Dane Maggard here, 90.5 WASU. Thank you so much for tuning in, baby. It's WASU on YouTube. App State as a team is winning 21-0, but right now we have 197. Logan Eller, redshirt sophomore from Georgia, wrestling against Toby Schaffstall. Starting out strong. Eller has underhook on left arm. Has both underhooks now. And Schaffstall. Coming from Schaffstall of VMI. And it goes out of bounds for a quick second. And we'll have another stalling call. And looks like we'll have a little bit of blood time. Or actually, there was one stall warning, and then immediately after, a stall right after. And for the injury, we will go to a little bit of a quick break for some blood time. And there will be a little bit of start back, but we have a little bit of a sideline report from Trey Blake.
Yeah, guys, I was down there on the mat when Anthony Canetta's opponent had that injury, and I got that perfectly on camera. That dude's shoulder is not in place anymore. I'll tell you that. It was completely out, and he knew it. The doctors knew it. His coach knew it, and his coach was not happy. It was a dangerous act. I love Anthony. I love App State Wrestling, but it was very dangerous, and the referee allowed it to happen. And not going to lie, I think it's a little crazy that Anthony was allowed to leave that match as the winner, knowing that he injured the other wrestler, because it was dangerous, guys. I was sitting right next to it. You could hear the wrestler grieving in pain the second Anthony went for it. But back to Dane.
Thank you, Trey. As that was a little bit of a dangerous position, to say the least, but that move is done throughout all levels. I've seen kids cry at tournaments because of that move, and the referees allow it to happen. But both wrestlers are absolute dogs, and to even get on the mat in the first place is an accomplishment in the Division I level. And going back, it is 2-0 as another stalling point goes to Logan Eller, and is now 2-0 with 1:10 remaining. Has the double underhook again, trying to get his legs together, trying to get his hands together so he has that lift opportunity. Goes to the one underhook, trying to go for some wrist control here. Underhook in one, wrist control in one. And Eller trying to work that underhook in many ways. Has underhook and wrist control. And Schaffstall will separate, but goes straight back in. 30 seconds remaining in this first period. Some fans want some stalling call from the referees here, but kind of just standing back. And there's short time, 2-0. And another stalling call will happen. And Schaffstall gets a little confused and doesn't know when the hard floor is. And then we have the hard floor trying to separate in general. And VMI trying to argue about the stalling calls, but they honestly just need to sit down. His wrestler's not doing anything on the mat. And now 4-0, and all of the points, I believe, have been from stalling. And I believe one more stalling call, and he should be disqualified, I believe. That is the rule. And App State will have the decision. They deny it and give it to VMI. And for those who are confused, when you're the first team to have a decision on the second period that's not deferred, you want to defer it every time. Because if you defer it, that means you get the last choice of the position starting out in the third period, which if your wrestler is down one or you're down one, you get that opportunity to tie it up. And Logan Eller has a leg in, going for the opposite wrist. Has the opposite chicken wing. And goes for a roll. And he almost had a little bit of a leg cradle from back points there. Eller trying to work and stops the reversal from happening. What great defense from Eller. What some wrestlers do there, they'll kind of just panic and try to go for any best position, but Eller waited for the best position to be in and waited things out, not rushing things. Smart move from Eller to keep the score 4-0, a minute remaining in this second period. Schofstall's leg strap has went off. Most of the time in this situation, the wrestler will stop the match completely to let him allow it on, but one of them is still on. And Matt returns him, trips him, and Schofstall not doing anything on the ground. The referee just kind of just looking at him, not just letting it happen almost. Referee now telling him to work it, telling him to work. And Schofstall just laying there, Eller trying. And they call a stalling on both wrestlers, and we'll start back in the middle. No points will be given. As Broccoli by Dram starts going on. As I don't get the music choices here and why they happen at these times. And it'll start back in the middle. Eller will be on top. Tries to go for a Granby roll, but Eller says, nope, you're going on your neck, buddy. You ain't rolling on my mat. Short time, 15 seconds. Schofstall just sitting there, just in his position. I can see the referee trying to give him a little bit of leeway, but you kind of can't in this position. And that is the end of the match. End of the second period. And App State will have the decision. And I don't know how Schofstall can stall on top, but at this point he might find a way. And Eller flat right now, trying to get up. Schofstall on top, trying to regain some points here. Trying to flatten out Eller, but not working. Eller gets out, and he gets that escape point. Eller goes back in the tie-up, gets both underhooks. Eller finding it easy to get those two underhooks, just he needs to connect them. If he connects them, it's a done deal. And calling a stalling, trying to tell him to work. Trying to tell him to work, and many wrestlers in the crowd even are trying to say stalling. And the ref giving him more leeway, telling him to move. Even fans are standing up in protest, saying this is stalling. This is the textbook definition. And I believe he gets one more, and he gets disqualified. One minute remains in this match. Logan Eller up 5-0, and 4 points come from stalling of the other opponent. I'm surprised this referee has not called it again, because Schofstall has not been doing a thing. He has not worked a single bit at all. And he does. And Logan Eller gets the double underhooks finally and gets the takedown. Gets the 3, gets it 8-0, almost had some back points there. Now 8-0, 2 minutes of riding time for Eller. Short time, and it looks like the referee will just keep this and not have it end in a stalling disqualification. And a disqualification is the most points you can get. Yeah, I believe you get 7 points as a team if you get disqualified. And Eller separates immediately, saying, dude, you are annoying, and points to God. And Logan Eller gets the win. against Toby Schofstall. And now upcoming is the heavyweight GOAT in the Boone area, Stephen Moncherie. And wrestling for VMI is Cole Will at heavyweight. He'll be wrestling Stephen Moncherie, the absolute dog, NCAA qualifier as a true freshman. Already a fan favorite here in Boone in his second year. And both men look strong, as this will be a very physical match. And Stephen saying, as literally his legs are too big for the straps, and gives the straps back to the referee saying, there's no way these are going to fit on my legs. There's no way. And Stephen Moncherie starts out the match, gives a couple feints, working some hand ties. And depending on the opponent, Moncherie will mostly, his first period will be a observation period mostly, trying to see what his opponent is capable of, what he does, what his tactics are. And then straight out of the gate, second period, he goes ham. But both men just working tie-ups, trying to snap each other down. Just separating tie-ups, separating in a tie-up, trying to find something different. And the main coach for Stephen is Randall Diabe. As Diabe he wrestled here at App and was in the heavier weights himself. So he knows what it's like wrestling at such a big amount of weight that is heavyweight. And Steph goes for the double leg attempt, and he slams Cole Will down. Will is on his back. Will he get the pin? And he does! Stephen Moncherie gets the pin. He goes back to the middle like nothing happened. Goes for a takedown attempt, goes up, and goes for the lat drop. That's a win for Stephen Moncherie in the first period. Barely a minute even passed, and he gets the win in dramatic fashion. Stephen Moncherie, the dog that he is, pins the true freshman that Cole Will immediately. I kind of wanted that match to last longer. I like seeing Steph wrestle. I like seeing my boy Stephen Moncherie wrestle more. He goes in and out, less than 2 minutes on the mat, and dips in fierce fashion. The team point right now is 31-0. And wrestling right now will be the true freshman of App State, Cooper Foster, versus the true sophomore, Waylon Rogers of the Virginia Military Institute. And what a win by Stephen Moncherie. Most exciting of the night. I can't wait to see that one on Appalachian Weekly News. Cooper being on the ground. Cooper Foster gets that takedown. And Rogers gets immediately back up as a stoppage has happened. And it looks like it might be a scoreboard malfunction. As something happens, I will give you guys the update as soon as I figure it out. And wrestlers will start in the middle. Sorry for the laugh. I got a very funny text from our station manager at WASU, Bobby Phillips. And Cooper Foster just waiting in the middle, so is Waylon Rogers. And it looks like after review, it will be a takedown, but he doesn't get full control. So it looks like the score will be 0-1, as no takedown will be given, apparently. And as we'll restart 0-0. As no challenge was even brought out. The referee just said, wait, I'm going to look at that real quick. And waiting for the good from the time. And they start. Cooper immediately goes, tries again for a blast double. Resorts to the single. Has the leg, puts it in between his legs. Trying to go for the near side cradle. Has the trip. Finally has that 3. Goes to the referee and says, oh, you want to take away that takedown? I can just get another one. And Waylon Rogers trying to get out, tries to sit out, but Cooper Foster puts him back down to the mat. Cooper gaining 30 seconds on riding time. Cooper trying to work some magic here. Trying to go for some tilts, working side to side. Trying to get, trying to get some wrist control. Puts him back down to the mat. Cooper will have the, frog in my throat. But scores 3-0. Cooper leading. Now has a minute of riding time. A minute 25 remaining in this first period. A minute of riding time and counting for Campbell. And trying to get back points, but the ref says nope. And that is the move that Anthony Canetta was trying to do before got injured. And gets that back points, and everyone in the crowd saying, where's the pin? And that's 4 back points, 7-0. A minute and 40 seconds of riding time for Cooper Foster. And Waylon Rogers, still scoreless. He had an escape point. Goes for the rolling near side cradle. Has 4, and that's 4 back points for Cooper. 11. Has 30 seconds remaining in this match. 2 minutes of riding time. Tries to get some more. Goes for that chicken wing again. Trying to push towards the head. And short time remaining. And Cooper trying to drive to his head. Trying to get those points. And he does. Trying to get that pin. Trying to get that pin. 4 back points. And no pin is given till the time is restrained. It is 14-0 right now. And the official will start back. And it's a tech fall as the scoring person got it wrong, and it's 15-0. He gets a tech fall in the first quarter. Cooper Foster is a true freshman and already making his legendary run here in Varsity Gym. Getting a big slap from the back from head coach John Mark Bentley and former All-American or former NCAA qualifier Will Miller. Cooper Foster, what a sign from App State this upcoming year. They saw Cooper Foster in high school, and 1 year later goes, I'm starting you. If that's not trust at the highest level of college wrestling, I don't know what to call it. And now Jarvis Little at 133 will wrestle Cody Tanner, the sophomore of VMI from Thornton, Colorado. And Jarvis Little was ranked a couple weeks ago on Flow Wrestling after a top 25 win, but since the Southern Scuffle, after getting around the consolation finals, losing. And Jarvis working a tie-in, but separates, goes for a feint. Tanner trying to stay low, but doesn't stay low enough as Jarvis gets a blast double, circles around, trying to get behind. No takedown given just yet, trying to put to the mat, not yet, and that's 3. And VMI really trying to debate whether that he has control. And Tanner, Granby rolls out of bounds to start back in. And Cody Tanner for VMI will start on bottom after Jarvis Little had a takedown and runs out of bounds. And Tanner has an escape point, makes it 3-1, 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in this first period. Both men go for a shot at the same time, and thankfully their heads don't butt, as both men are just at the equal level of each other, but separate, try to find some common ground. Jarvis goes for a little bit of a feint. Both men just in the tie-up. Jarvis trying to get that 2-on-1. He has it. He has that 2-on-1. He just needs to do something with it, and he lets it go. He lets go of the 2-on-1, goes for a blast double again, and it works again. 6-1 in the first period for Jarvis Little. 1:30 remaining in this first period. The lightweights are saying, hey, we normally go first, and we now have we have some waiting time. They're going out strong and energized. Jarvis has both legs in. Bentley saying elbows forward to try to get some quick tilting back points. And the ref going to Cody Tanner saying to work on bottom, and he tries to build his bridge up. Trying to get some quick back points, but not yet to that less than 90-degree angle. If you need back points from a tilt like that, you need to be a little less than 90 degrees from the mat. And they will go out of bounds as Jarvis Little will start on top again after his other takedown. And the team score right now is 36-0. This match and the next match at 141, which will be the last match, will be the only chance that VMI will have the chance to get on board or get on the board for point-wise, unless someone does something unsportsmanlike, which I doubt that the disciplined App State team will do that. Jarvis working on top, trying to get the wrist control of Cody Tanner, trying to work some tilts, get some quick back points before the period ends in about 5 seconds. And just waiting out the period before time changes. And that is the end of the first period. VMI will have the chance for a first decision. And they will defer to App State for their decision. And App State will choose bottom. And Jarvis Little will start on bottom to hopefully get an escape point. Jarvis has 1:50 of riding time, and they go caution red, a.k.a. caution VMI. And another caution for VMI. The ref trying to explain, and the refs are just getting kind of frustrated. And at this point, you just need to wait till the other guy moves. And for an update on men's basketball, if you aren't listening to that broadcast, App State's winning 43-27. And Jarvis gets the escape point. And they go to neutral, make it 7-1, 1:45 remaining in this second period. Jarvis trying to get some wrist control, but separates, tries to circle around after a couple head taps. Trying to stay low, goes for a fake, and that works very well. But then after the fake, Cody Tanner went for his own takedown attempt. Jarvis trying to roll. And Jarvis being very close to that less than 90-degree angle for some back points. Rutzer waves his hands once, but lets it go. Still 7-1. VMI being very close to a takedown here. And Cody Tanner being centimeters close from a takedown attempt, but Jarvis keeping that grip. And Jarvis trying anything to have like a little bit of a stalling on both teams. Yep, and they'll call stalling on both as both men will start neutral. And Jarvis still leads 7-1. goes back into some action. Has the tie-up. 40 seconds remaining in this second period. Jarvis still leads 7-1. Has a minute and 42 seconds of riding time. Jarvis goes for that high crotch. Circles around and gets that takedown. Makes it 10-1. If you look at this VMI bench, it looks sad. This is a very sad day for the VMI fans out there. Short time, 15 seconds in this second period. Now has 2 minutes of riding time for Jarvis Little. Jarvis trying to get some tilts. If this was freestyle, that would have been 3, but does a little bit of a gator roll. And that is the end of the second period, as VMI will choose bottom, as Cody Tanner will try to get some easy escape points. But against Jarvis Little, it's not so easy. And Jarvis Little, fun fact, actually has a little brother in high school that committed to App State. And disrespectful. That plain old disrespectful coming from Jarvis. Does a good old mat return, then lets his guy up and just pushes him off. And gets the takedown at ease. And the App State wrestling bench loving it. Jarvis trying to get that tilt. Everybody wants some back points in this room, but it doesn't happen just yet. Jarvis trying to get that half. Jarvis is in between Cody's legs, so he has an easier way of tilting him one side or the other. Trying hardest for that half. A minute and 5 seconds remaining in this match. Jarvis has a couple more opportunities. If he gets these back points right here, he might possibly get a tech fall. And Jarvis trying to work his best. They go out of bounds, and Cody Tanner will start on bottom. And Jarvis will start on top after getting the takedown. Still 13-2, 3 minutes of riding time for Jarvis Little, and they'll give him the escape point to start back neutral. Now 13-3. Jarvis trying to have a snap down, but Tanner snaps down his own and just separates. Jarvis has that blast double. He resorts to the outside single. Trying to go for that near side half. Has that 3. Lets him up. 20 seconds remaining in this match. One more takedown. And he gets the tech fall. 15 seconds. Short time. If he wants that last takedown, he needs to go for it now. He does. He gets that high crotch. Tries to circle around, but this is a stuffy position. We should have went for it closer. Trying to have that 3. And no 3. And no 3 given. And it'll be 16-4 win for Jarvis Little. As that's another win for App State Wrestling. And Jarvis Little. And now the team score is 40-0 App State. And VMI's last chance to get points on the board is right now. 141, Aldo Hernandez for App State will be the last wrestler of the evening. And he will be wrestling NCAA qualifier Dyson Dunham. Dyson Dunham was aggressive before this match started. While seeing his teammate lose, he was high-fiving every single one of his coaches, slapping himself in the face to get in the mood for aggression. So Aldo didn't see that moment. But if anybody on the bench did, they need to tell him, Aldo, you need to be aggressive, because this guy's coming out aggressive and something to prove and doesn't want VMI to have a complete shutout. And the match starts now. Dunham staying lower. Both in a tie-up, trying to gain some wrist control. Aldo is. Aldo goes from hand control to inside tie-up, but separates. Circling around. Oh, Dunham almost goes for a high crotch, but separates as Aldo Hernandez gets the takedown defense and separates away. Aldo has a shoe by and almost goes for the takedown attempt, but goes away. And John Mark Bentley telling Aldo Hernandez, don't let him control you. Aldo trying his best in this tie-up to find any type of opening for a takedown. Has the tie-in. Has the inside tie-in. While Dunham, shooing him by, goes for a takedown attempt, but Aldo stuffs it. Both men start back neutral and circling the mat. Dunham kind of just waiting for Aldo to initiate the moves. Aldo keeps trying to go for a snap down, drag away, almost. And Aldo trying his hardest for an aggressive snap down here. Aldo keeping his stance still, going in for the tie-up. Dunham goes for an arm drag, but doesn't work. And still no points at all. Aldo tries to go for a takedown, but Dunham retaliates on his own, and Aldo stuffs the mat return lat drop almost. And no points still have been scored. 40 seconds left in this first period. Aldo and Dunham go back to the middle. Last match of the evening. Aldo trying to finish strong, but Dunham not trying to let his team go out dry. Dunham has the inside tie-up. Aldo separates, goes straight back into it. Aldo has the wrist control and inside tie-up of his own. He just needs to do something with it. Less than 10 seconds remaining. And now it seems like Aldo will just wait this period by. And it'll be 0-0. This is the first scoreless period of the night, and yet the toughest match of the night for the Mountaineer, Aldo Hernandez. As App State has the decision and will defer it to VMI, as VMI will choose bottom. It'll start. Aldo trying to keep that tie-in, trying to get Dunham to return to the mat, and what a position for Aldo, trying to get a mat return, but ends up on his back. Thankfully, the ref didn't call any type of reversal. And Dunham gets the escape point. Aldo kind of upset at himself that he let that happen, but he goes back to the middle. Goes back into the tie-up, gets that wrist control, but separates. And Aldo gets taken down. Now 4-0 for Dunham. And Aldo gets the escape, and Aldo will try to go back in. It'll be neutral. And it'll be 4-1. Will be neutral. 1 minute remaining in the second period. Aldo just in that tie-up, trying to get any type of opening for a takedown or just points at all. Dyson Dunham leading 4-1 to App State's Aldo Hernandez. Aldo trying to circle around with the inside tie-in, Short time here for Hernandez. Dunham still leading 4-1. 5 seconds remaining in this second period. And 1 minute remains. And John Mark Bentley telling Aldo to let's go hustle. You're on bottom. Let's get these escape points and get to working. Aldo sitting out, trying to break the grip, circles around, and he gets to neutral. Aldo gets the arm drag, almost has the leg, but Dunham does a 360 out of it to stay neutral. And Aldo is down 4-2. Aldo goes for a takedown attempt, but doesn't work. Dunham goes for his own, but Aldo stuffs it. Both men staying neutral. Aldo tried to have that inside drive. Doesn't work. Both men just stay neutral in a collar tie. Both men separate, go to the middle of the match. About a minute left. Minute left remaining in this match. The Rustlers in the gym telling Aldo to work and let's go. In support of Aldo. Aldo trying to work that tie up. Trying to work some snap downs, but goes straight to the underhooks again. Aldo has that leg, and he goes out of bounds. Had a good position, but is unaware that he was close to out of bounds. And Bentley telling him to work. Every Rustler in this gym is telling him to work. This is an important win for you. 35 seconds remaining. If Aldo wants to keep this shutout alive for VMI, he'll need to happen fast. Aldo trying his best. 25 seconds remaining. People kind of trying to get a stalling warning. Trying to go for an arm drag, but with that underhook doesn't work. Aldo trying to work. We have a stalling point for VMI, but with 6 seconds left, Aldo needs fast, something extremely fast. And the shutout is incomplete for App State as VMI does get on the board. It took the very last match in their absolute best Rustler, but they get on the board. As VMI will still lose 40-3. Aldo extremely upset with himself. Everybody had a win on the roster except him. Every Rustler has been in this position before at least once in their lives, where it seems like they were the only one that didn't win tonight. But Dyson Dunham does it for VMI to stop the shutout. But App State still has a gigantic win, 40-3. Absolute domination for App State. And really quick, Trey Blake, what did you think of that last match, and what does Aldo need to improve on to be that NCAA qualifier?
Well, to be honest, Dane, the problem with Aldo has always been he's in his own head. He's always thinking too much about the match. He's always worrying about external factors. I didn't see that at all this match. It really felt like he wrestled a really good match. He just kind of went up against the guy that, I don't know the word for it, but he kind of like bookends the conference. He bookends the weight. He's an NCAA qualifier. He qualified at 33, but he's still an NCAA qualifier. He gatekeeps it. He gatekeeps the weight. Hey, if you're going to be really good in this league, come beat me. I think Aldo wrestled a really good match. We're going to see him improve throughout the season. He just couldn't get it done tonight against a wrestler that is better than him. I can't lie. But I also think Aldo is really, really good himself. He's going to continue to improve. Only a redshirt junior, redshirt sophomore, somewhere around there. He's got at least 2 more years to improve, at a year and a half. I'm excited for Aldo. I do kind of think maybe this weight isn't for him. Maybe he's a 49, and we'll see that when Keyser leaves, but just feels like it's consistently he can't get it done at 41. Let's see if a new weight will change for him. Won't happen this year, but I'm expecting Aldo to improve going into SoCons. I just don't think what we've seen this season and what we saw tonight is going to lead him to being that qualifier 41.
Thank you, Mr. Blake, for your great commentating. But thank you so much for everybody who tuned in. App State won 40-3 against VMI. Every single wrestler got a win except the last match of the night. Aldo Hernandez was facing a former NCAA qualifier at 133. Now wrestling at 141, Dyson Dunham. But thank you so much for tuning in this fine evening on 90.5 WASU Sports YouTube page. And if you miss wrestling, it's like, Dane, we don't want wrestling to end. Well, I got good news for you. February 1st is going to be a great match. I believe it is Bellarmine versus App State, and it'll be me and Trey Blake there, where Trey will have a great opportunity to possibly do play-by-play for his first ever time. And with App State wrestling, he's very passionate about it, so make sure to be there for Trey Blake's debut on play-by-play for wrestling. So thank you so much for tuning in as App State gets another win here in Varsity Gym. And I'll see you guys next time here on WASU YouTube